Hi everybody, welcome back to the Steal Irene Show. I'm your host Lillian Irene, and today's episode is titled Blooming Addictions. We have guest stars from Rowan Bloom. Yeah, welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
And our addict, McKenna Graham.
This is why I brought her here today, Lillian. She's addicted to vaping and I want to stop it before it gets too far.
I'm not addicted. You're just delusional.
It's not just her with the addiction either. It happens to be that 21.5% of students here at Reese Puffer use electronic vaping products just like her.
Exactly, so what's the big deal?
The big deal is it's not good for you. All right, Rowan, why did you bring McKenna in today and not somebody else?
She's my best friend and I really care about her, but on the path she's choosing, she's gonna end up dead.
Insert video clip.
This morning, New York State health officials are investigating the death of a 17-year-old boy and what could be the youngest fatality connected to vaping in the U.S.
Parents have to know, young people have to know, you are playing with your life when you play with this stuff.
According to the CDC, more than 1,000 cases of severe lung illnesses have been reported across 48 states, and now 23 deaths.
This video is sponsored by Karma. That's what McKenna's gonna get if she keeps vaping.
Welcome back from the Karma commercial break. Okay, so why haven't you talked about Rowan about this?
Well, obviously, I've been very busy with like vaping, and I've cut myself a few times. I've abused a lot of other people.
Why have you done that?
Because it just is like a way for me to take my anger out. Because like,
But those are negative coping mechanisms. Have you tried any positive coping mechanisms? What are a couple positive coping mechanisms that you know, Rowan?
Well, she could take classes, vape classes, to minimize the usage and understand what bad things she can be putting into her body. She can go to therapy. She can try nick patches, and she could try dum dum suckers as like a substitute for her vape.
why would I want to do that when I can just like make threats or insult others?
No, that's not okay. You're not living by the Constitution.
What's the Constitution? I don't go to school, remember?
That just gives people an inferiority complex and destroys their self-esteem and is very bad for their mental health. And you shouldn't be taking it out on others.
I may have a bit of an inferiority complex.
Just one second. You taking your everything out on other people could continue the cycle and cause them to vape and smoke weed and alcohol, unprescribed prescription drugs.
So I have a question. Who, like, at my school, at Reese Puffer High School, who can I go to when I need help?
Well,
Help quit vaping.
you go to the school, so what do you think?
Well, she can always go to the counselor's office because their door is always open for incoming visitors. She can talk to a trusted staff member, teachers, or Mrs. LaChapelle for addiction problems.
What about like Officer Luce? Because I know he's the cop, but like, won't he get me in trouble?
No, you won't get in trouble at school if you admit that you vape.
They just want to help you.
So if I go and like vape in front of them, is that when I'll get in trouble?
Yes.
Okay.
You definitely shouldn't do that. Vaping has...
It just tastes so good.
Give me that.
I don't want to.
Do you think if you would have had a therapist or a free open counselor at the schools and elementary school that you wouldn't have turned to vaping the way you have today?
I mean, like, if I could have talked to somebody about my childhood trauma and stuff, and like what was going on in my life at the time, then maybe I would have known better coping mechanisms, like journaling or like talking to somebody about it, you know?
Yeah.
Or like even reporting to CPS, because although we probably would have been taken away from like my parents and stuff, my siblings would have gotten help, and my parents maybe would have realized that what they were doing was wrong.
Yes, it's a very good point. Okay, so I buy your Harry Potter Hogsmeade puzzle today. It'll take you a month to finish. Hi everybody, sorry about that. Welcome back from commercial break. Our addicts had to go have a vape break. Get back over here, please. McKenna, everybody. Okay, McKenna, back to our questioning. Have you had any childhood trauma that might link you to vaping?
I mean, honestly, not really. But when I was little, my parents got divorced when I was like 6 years old. But back when I was 5, I got kicked out and had to live with my grandma for like 6 months. And my parents were really abusive towards each other. Like my mom would like hit my dad, he'd hit her back, and like they'd scream at each other all the time. And the reason I got kicked out was because I didn't feed the dog. And that's not even a big deal because like I know tons of people that don't feed their dogs.
Right.
Okay, thank you for taking my microphone back, apparently.
You weren't using it.
I was
Rowan,
using
did you
it.
know any of this?
No, I did not. She doesn't talk to me a lot about that stuff. But I know there's been a couple occurrences where she has came to school very sad and lonely.
Did you know? Oh, sorry about that. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, it's fine.
Did you know that 38% reported feeling alone and not cared about by family? Do you fall into that category?
Yeah, the whole time where I was like kicked out of my house, I felt alone and like my family didn't care about me because if they cared about me, why would they kick me out, you know?
You had your grandma though, right? How was she like?
Well, my relationship with my grandma was iffy. Like, she was kind of secluded to her room because she fell into kind of like a depression after our grandpa died. So I was like start cleaning the house and like trying to find my own food. I was like 5 years old, you know?
Right.
So like I had to eat like Lunchables, whatever was in the fridge, and yeah.
I think that is trauma. I think that could be connected with 35% of students reporting trying tobacco products because they have had childhood trauma. Have you skipped out class? Like, what do her grades look like?
Mostly F's and D minuses.
And she doesn't show up to class?
No, she skips a lot with her friends.
Why do you choose to do that?
She doesn't skip with me, so I mean, I don't skip with all my friends.
Skipping is not good. What do you do when you skip classes?
We like go to the beach, smoke weed, or smoke vape, use marijuana and tobacco quite often. Sometimes we pick up some alcohol. I have an older cousin, he can provide me with all sorts of stuff.
You know how bad that stuff is for your body?
What does it do?
Well, video clip!
This is an x-ray of a patient's lungs. And here's an x-ray of those same lungs just 5 days later. See all that light gray? That's fluid, which filled their lungs because of a life-threatening lung disease, linked to vaping. For years, vaping has been touted as a safer alternative to smoking cigarettes. But now, some vaping products are killing people. So what's going on? And is it really bad for you? Vaping typically refers to inhaling an aerosol, which contains either nicotine, in the case of e-cigarettes, or some form of cannabis, such as the psychoactive chemical THC. And in the last few years, it has exploded in popularity, especially among teens. I mean, just look at this graph. It shows the percent of high school students who use e-cigarettes. In 2018, it was over 20%. And that's what makes this news so scary.
A patient died from a severe respiratory illness, and it could be the country's first vaping-related death.
That was in August of 2019. And by early September, the number of reported deaths linked to vaping had climbed to at least 6.
Smoking cigarettes, vaping, smoking marijuana, and drinking alcohol leads to taking unprescribed and then prescription medication. Addicts are just trying to chase their next big high, so eventually they just turn to hardcore drugs like heroin to feed their addictions. Your lungs could end up looking like this. You could end up looking like this. Do you want to look like that?
No, I like to be pretty.
Well, right now, you don't look pretty.
I know. I'm done letting a little Vaping device control my life. Let's dip it into my blue Kool-Aid. Oh, look, it's all gone.
We are so proud of you.
Me too.
This is why she brought you onto this show.
Dang it, I wanted to hit it one last time. Let's see if it feels so
No, it's ruined.
weird. Dang. You guys should all put your vapes in a glass of Kool-Aid too.